The sensory cortex, as represented in red, behind the central groove of the brain, is the primary area for the interpretation of incoming sensory information. The association area coordinates this information. The sense of touch involves the stimulation of receptors in the skin. The most superficial receptors are found in the epidermis. They are the free nerve endings, which respond to touch and pain, Merkel's discs, which respond to continuous touch, and the end bulbs of Krauss, the receptors that probably register cold. Below the epidermis is the dermis. In the dermis are Meissner's corpuscles, which send information to the brain about the texture of the object that is being touched. Nerve endings around the bases of the hair follicles, which are stimulated by movement of the hair. Pacinian corpuscles, which respond to pressure, and Ruffini corpuscles, which respond to changes in temperature.
Your skin is in immediate contact with the world. Using your sense of touch allows you to tell if something is hot or cold, dull or sharp, rough or smooth, or wet or dry. Skin is packed with many sense receptors. Each type responds to different sensations. Although your brain receives messages all the time, it filters out the less important ones. That's why you're not constantly aware of the clothes against your skin. The most sensitive parts of your skin have the most touch receptors in them. Your fingertips, lips, and toes are all very sensitive. Touch or tactile perception is processed through the somatosensory neurons and brain cells. When there is pressure on the skin, the peripheral touch receptors send information to the brain via the somatosensory pathway, which is usually comprised of 3 long neurons.
How does the sense of touch travel to the brain? Touch is sensed by the brain to determine the characteristics of objects, size, texture, and shape. The touch receptors in the periphery are known as mechanoreceptors. The afferent neurons send the information to the central nervous system of the brain for processing and interpretation. Meanwhile, the somatosensory system in the spinal cord sends the pathway the information about the stimulus applied of the body comes toward the brain. In the brain, touch sensation is processed in the primary somatic sensory cortex, situated in the post-central gyrus. Our skin acts as the protective internal body system of the outside world. Messages are picked by the receptors and transmitted to the small myelinated fibers and every small unmyelinated fiber. From the spinal cord, the impulses are carried to receive as state. The sending pathways and messages to the spinal cord, where it is processed, the transmission of the tissue down the skin to the higher system. We do this through the touch receptors in the skin. In your skin, some receptors produce the breath of sensory nerve cell endings around the base of the hair. The nerve endings are remarkably sensitive. They can be triggered by the slightest movement of the hair. Signals from the touch receptors pass via sensory nerves to the spinal cord, where they will synapse or make contact with other nerve cells. In turn, send the information to the thalamus and the cerebral cortex. The transmission of this information is highly topographic, meaning that the body is represented in an orderly fashion at different levels of the nervous system. Larger areas of the cortex are dedicated to the sensation from the hands and legs, much smaller cortical regions representing the less sensitive parts of the body.
The skin is the sensory organ of our touch. It is the largest organ of the body with an area of 80 square feet and a weight of 9 pounds. Sensory neurons densely energy skin in each square inch of skin. There are hundreds of sensory nerve endings. Each sensory neuron in the skin has a specialized capsule at its end, which physically links the nerve ending to the surrounding skin tissue. The sense of touch is then based on mechanical deformations of the skin and soft tissues of the body, which cause change in the shape of the capsule surrounding the nerve ending. The nerve ending, called mechanoreceptor, detects this change in shape and produces an action potential, which is propagated to the rest of the nervous system. The action action potential codes for the touch location on the skin, the amount of force, and its velocity. Other touch receptors in the skin produce action potentials in response to the object's temperature and to the presence of chemicals on the skin. In the context of neurobiology, touch is defined as the special sense by which contact with the body of an organism is perceived in the conscious mind. One's sense of touch allows an individual to determine an object's size, shape, weight, texture, temperature, and whether the object causes pain or pleasure. In this way, touch allows an individual to learn about the environment and change one's behavior accordingly. In addition to determining information about objects outside of the body, touch receptors deep inside the body allow one to know the position and shape of one's bones, muscles, and other soft tissues.
The power of touch. Touch is the first sense we acquire and the secret weapon of many successful people. How does the sense of touch affect development? Touch is by far the most fundamental knowledge, the five senses. Any system requires an acute awareness of one's own body, which gives you the opposite internal form of tactile sense. Since the touch develops before all the other senses, they brother, and in the main way, it impacts learn about their own environment, bond with other people. These senses learn to off or take a break, and it continues towards long after other senses fade or lose. Through our interestingly, positive thoughts from others is necessary for an individual healthy. Despite the presence of all other life environments, without this positive thought impact on pain and time, compared to the other senses, thought is very hard to isolate because factors that information enters the nervous system from the single part of the body.
Which depend on the development of neural pathways and communication. The amount of types of thoughts an individual receives can greatly affect the person's behavior and health. Starting at the turn of the 20th century, psychologists and doctors have discovered the effects of these thoughts necessary for physical, mental, and emotional development of children. For example, doctors throughout the first half of the 20th century called failure the phenomenon tribe syndrome. In hospitals and orphanages, the majority of infants and children did not develop normally. During the 1950s, the psychologist Harlan Harlow conducted studies of the effect of isolation of infant monkeys, separated monkeys birds from their parents and keeping them communicating with other species. One was a rare mother with a milk bottle, and one was a wooden mother covered with a parasol without a milk bottle. The infant monkeys found that crazy on the parasol mother their arms, ignoring the desirable food in exchange for the softness of the parasol or the half milk. The thoughts describe massive component studies or neurotyping abnormalities in the development of behavior. These models are rapid and rapid features which interested in the environment. They accordingly stimulate other monkeys for receiving and studying thoughts. When they give interact with other monkeys, they will very aggressive. They have difficulty and sexual partners and often will be able to move properly and often. In the years following studies, others have conducted or established studies thought representation on development. The current consensus is that adequate affection thought is necessary for an individual's proper development. There is strong evidence that a lack of affection such causes depression, violence, memory deficiency, and pain. The question is how something simple as thoughts can affect one's body so quickly. One possibility refers to us as a attachment tool has to do with the relationship between affection and sales bonding. If a child is not received adequate affection,
Thus, because his or her parents are emotionally neglectful them. The child and parents will not form proper emotional bonds. The lack of bonding will constantly or unfortunately cause unhappiness and a lack of trust of the child's heart. As the child grows older, this will manifest itself as an insecurity to other people. This will cause constant anxiety. This anxiety but not provide a clear cause and effect for such behavior. More research is needed to back up the claims of this group. The difficulty in isolating such material thought even research is begun. However, studies that have begun have highlighted the importance of the power of thought for development and health. Most studies today have used prevention study or exam can yet be used. However, there is no doubt that the technique such as Bible philosophy. Hopefully, future research will more clearly demonstrate the relationship between the two. The types of success that a person experiences throughout his or her life affect the architecture of his interpretation. This in turn affects the person's interpretation of and response to different types of touch. General statements about neuronal communication that the dedicated activation of a pathway sender those synapses, making it easier to pass information forward or improve learning. Thus, the more often a person experiences a type of touch, the better able to interpret the information his or her brain becomes. However, if there is a lack of touch, the sensory neurons will not be activated, and the synapses of the neural pathway will never be affected.
One sense of thought is hard to achieve. Without a sense of thought, it's very hard to get around this world. We wouldn't feel the floor when we're walking, we wouldn't feel when something hard cut us, we wouldn't feel the word or our speech. It is truly amazing how much information we're seeing about the world through our sense of thought. And although we still don't know or figure out the persistent thought, what we do know is that the power of thought is without. Whether it's an accidental release from a stranger, a tender phone from a someone who knows, the first squeeze of the hand, a hand and a squeeze of the forehead, more slower, tender and more agitated. Transcendent connection, feel, communicate, influence, and choose. When the thoughts called in movement, you can go to wider distance between people. When the changes are seen, the pathway for thought. It is touch. It is the comfort, connection, security, the powerful, the emotional, and the physical health benefits that come from being touch is taken appropriately. And abundance of research has found that the benefits of thought don't stop at the people stage, forming over less than 1 second of space per personal thought, such as the people reveal, head to the back or the shoulders and influence health in the region is remarkable. Thought is such a powerful instruction speech. It is the first language to learn, and it is the first step to the letter. Not appropriately, because the profound capacity to learn the argument and our overall well-being is capable of more nurturing thought less than one. Further shows that when there is interpersonal attention during childhood, the rates of adult physical violence are low. Response can be found both adolescent and children. Secondly, communication without words. According to Professor Master Payton at West University, has researched the use of touch as a language.
have language that we can communicate emotions through language, such just with those who are familiar, but also with strangers. Third is repeated stress. There's no doubt that a cuddle from the right person at the right time can take the feeling out of stress. And as such, even if one of the class for less than 7 due to physiological requirements, stress may tolerate that life can work. Stress and other oxytocin brings people closer together. Oxytocin is also known as the cuddle chemical. Affecting that is one that causes the release of oxytocin. It helps the nurture kids to start with the start to communicate compassion. Sometimes there are no words, but there is touch. Touch activates the body's gadget nerve, which is information for praise without the possible touch. Touch helps people with Alzheimer's. Touching such as touch therapy, massage therapy, for patients with Alzheimer's disease, reduces stress and depression symptoms, and helps them to make emotional connections with others. And last, touch to make it count in life. Tuning in the touch is an old business time. Touch has been shown to have positive benefits, even when the experience of being touched.
But our sense of touch deteriorates as we get older. Unfortunately, like in eyesight and hearing, our sense of touch is vulnerable to the effects of age. The touch sense steadily deteriorates as we get older, starting around the age of 8. Every year, we lose around 1% of our tactile sense. By the time you are old, you've lost a whole lot of touch sense, according to Lincoln. The main way is because the density of nerve endings in your hands has just decreased. Those nerves die off due to that the insulating material called myelin that coats the fast-conducting nerve fibers and makes them project quickly to the brain breaking down, so the information gets to your brain more slowly. Part of the reason that elders people are so prone to fall is that they are getting less tactile information from the soles of their feet. One of the ways for the elders to combat falling is actually to go barefoot so that they have a better touch of sense.
What are we discovering as a result of that? First is automatognosis. It is generally known as a disorder of body awareness caused by neurological damage. The deficit in body awareness can take the form of forgetting, ignoring, denying, disowning, or misperceiving the body. The duration of symptoms for automatognosia can vary in the span of minutes, hours, or months. Its causes are damage to the right parietal lobe can be due to surgery, trauma to the head, or stroke. The treatment could be currently there is no specific treatment for automatognosia. Instead, the treatment will mostly focus on assessing the causes of lesions, treating the cause, and educating the patient and their families on the same time. Use of mirrors has been found to treat the automatognosia. Specifically, it can be used to show the patient the ability from their body to the affected limb by having them look at the mirror image while touching the patient's finishing limb. Second is organization as often in the past, the new fiber system is what is called the system often all common causes include application, backlash, and misbacklash, including food culture. What is the possibility? The top that is considered within the class services and always drugs that are seems to be true. Some people require someone to hear and to give voice to that disorder and to the next that actually possible treatment. No treatment is immediately available for asterinosis. Treatment depends upon the underlying cause, which causes the section of the parietal lobe. Hope you like and learn from our video. This has been Rita Romanski, a psychology student. And how does it work?